Everyone needs a power bank, especially in today's world where you need to stay connected everywhere you go. There's a lot of questions that you need to answer, like, does more expensive mean better? Do the smaller, less expensive power banks keep up with the bigger, more expensive ones? And what am I gonna use them for? In this video, I have 4 power banks ranging from 100 watts to 145 watts,
including one that's 27 watts that's also MagSafe compatible.
And these are all between 10,000 to 25,000 milliamp hour power banks. You can use these in any situation, whether it's road trips with the fam, or when you're with your squad, and just when your ops are getting cooked, your controller or your headset's about to die. When coffee shops are the only place that you can get anything done, or when your phone's at 10% while the power's out, and that means you can't even call the power company to see what the heck is going on. Power banks are one of those things that you just gotta have. And if you're somebody that's traveling without at least one power bank, you gotta be absolutely out of your mind to think that you're gonna take all the pictures, videos, maps, look up restaurants while you're on one charge before you go back to the hotel. The ones I'm gonna show you guys today, I tested all these with my iPhone 60 Pro Max, Macbook Pro M3 Pro, iPad Pro M1, and gaming devices like the PlayStation Portal and the Nintendo Switch. Oh, and also my Apple Watch Ultra 2. By the way, this one was sent out to me by INIU to check out, but they're not sponsoring this video, so they have no input and all the opinions are my own. All right, so let's get into it. When Anker first started coming out with these power banks with this display, I was like, dang, I need to get one of these. Bro, look at the display on this thing. So I went and got the Anker 737. A 24,000 milliamp hour power bank with a 140 watt max output with 86.4 watt hours, which I'll get into a little bit later. This one barely made it to the list because it's $110 usually here in the US. I think the retail price is $129.99, but I find this thing discounted most of the time. So I got this for $89.99. Once you take this thing out of the pouch that it comes in, you'll see that it has 2 USB-C ports on the top and a USB-A port. Because you know, there's always something that still uses regular USB-A. This is a pretty big power bank. It weighs in at 22.22 ounces, 6.13 by 2.14 by 1.95 inches, which is basically 6 inches and around 2 inches wide. Yeah, this thing's powerful enough to charge bigger devices like a MacBook Pro or any other laptops that you might have. So with one port plugged in on this thing and the right cable, you can get fast charge on your MacBook Pro. I was able to get 50% on my M3 Pro MacBook Pro in about 25 minutes. That's that fast charge, and it's super fast. This one has pass-through charging, so that way you can charge your device while you're charging your power bank. Cool thing about this is it tells you on the display how much charge you're getting in and how much is going out. And it shows you the percent that it has left and how long it's gonna take for the whole power bank to drain out. But these numbers vary depending on the output. So another feature that the Anker 737 has is trickle charging if you have smartwatches or smaller accessories and stuff like that. If you double tap the button on the side, it turns that on. Your smaller accessories, sometimes they can take in less than 1 watt of power. This sends out a small amount of power so that the power bank doesn't fall asleep. So the trickle charging, it prevents that from happening when you have like your AirPods or your Apple Watch or something plugged in. One thing you need to know is when you buy a power bank, they advertise the capacity of the battery cells that are inside. In this case, 24,000 milliamp hours. This is measured by the battery voltage, usually about 3.7 volts. And when you charge something like an iPhone or whatever cell phone that you have, that voltage can vary, so the milliamp hours can be different. So a more accurate way to see the actual output of a power bank is to look at the watt hours, which is usually on the back of the power bank if the company wants to be transparent about that. If you look at the watt hours along with the milliamp hours, it'll give you a better idea of the actual capacity of the power bank and how much output you're gonna get. So after doing a capacity test, I got about 68 watt hours out of this thing, out of the 86.4 watt hours that it shows on the back of this. So it's about a 78% efficiency rating. These numbers can vary depending on like the heat and energy loss and stuff like that, but that can give you an idea of how much power it has. These are the total charges that I got on the Anker 737 with the devices that I own. The green are the categories that it performed the best or tied for best compared to the other power banks in this video. Like I said, this can vary depending on the energy loss and other factors like heat and how old your battery is on your device. And you can use these as a reference to compare to the devices that you have to see how much charge it's gonna give you in like real life situations. The thing that stands out to me the most about the Anker 737 is that it charges the fastest out of all the power banks that I have. So it's capable of doing fast charge with the MacBook Pro and the quick charge on the Samsung and also with the iPhones. And here's a list of the charging protocols for the Anker 737. And some of these come really close with the other power banks, so make sure you guys check them all out as I go through each one. And then the recharge on this thing was super quick. I went from 0 to 56 in about 30 minutes, and it charged the full capacity in about 55 minutes because it has the 140 watt input as well. And to charge all of these, I use my 240 watt Apple USB-C cable, USB-C to C, Apple's 140 watt charging block, and this Anker power block. I'll put affiliate links in the description below so you guys can check them out. And then to make sure your devices don't overheat, Anker has a technology called Active Shield 2.0, which can check the temperature of your devices up to 3 million times a day. So the only drawbacks of this is that it's the biggest one and it's the heaviest out of all of these power banks. It feels the heaviest, it's harder to carry around. Like, you really have to have a backpack or something like that to take this with you, or you're probably gonna leave it somewhere. You're really not gonna wanna carry this around. This is mainly for people that like want to go to coffee shops or something like that and sit there and charge their MacBooks and their phones at the same time. This one's also the most expensive one. It retails for about $130. I've never seen it for $130. It's usually about $110, but in the last couple months I've seen this thing go from $89 to $99. I feel like it's always on sale, so that's how this one made it under the $100 list. This power bank was the only one that told me that it needed to cool off after I charged up my MacBook Pro. I had to wait a while before I can recharge this, so that's one thing to consider if you're thinking that this has the fastest recharge out of all these power banks. But I wasn't able to charge my MacBook Pro all the way and then recharge this right away. I had to wait for a little while, like I think like 30 minutes or so before I can charge this thing again. It kept saying that it was overheating. That might be a good thing, like for safety, just so you guys know, in case you want to be able to charge your stuff and recharge this thing right away. You might not be able to do that with this. So the Anker 737, I'd recommend this to anyone that wants the quickest charge possible. You know, whenever you make quick stops to get in some work and you don't mind carrying around the heavier power bank and the bigger size, to be able to get that quick charge for your MacBook Pro and your iPhone at the same time. So if you travel for business or if you're working remote in a lot of different locations, this one's a great option if you need to recharge your devices quickly, like during layovers or wherever you stop real quick to get some work in. Now, if the Anker is too big, heavy, or expensive, let me show you guys one that's smaller, lighter, and easier to carry around and put in your pocket, even if you still like to wear skinny jeans or if you have a small purse or a bag. So this one was actually sent out to me and they told me they'd respect a completely honest review after I told them that I'd be comparing it to my Anker and some of these other ones. So they have no input in this, so I'm gonna give you guys an honest review and show you guys if they can back up that confidence. This one is called the Cougar P63 by a company called INIU. So if you guys didn't know how to pronounce it before, it's called INIU. Like, I wish I knew about INIU before I spent a bunch of money on all these other power banks. I knew I'd be gaming all day, but I knew I could depend on my INIU to charge up my PlayStation Portal, Steam Deck, and my iPhone 16 Pro Max. I knew this was the one when it was able to keep my iPhone going when I took 150 pictures of my cat. All right, I'm done. But if you do like taking that many pictures of your cat, this power bank won't judge you. It'll actually help you keep taking pictures and videos for days. This power bank is only 13.8 ounces, so it's super small and lightweight, which would have been perfect when we went to Mexico and we were going through different towns and restaurants, and I put the Anker in my pocket and I was like, bro, this feels like a freaking medium-sized burrito in my pocket. The size of the P63, this will surprise you because it's lightweight and small on the outside, but this thing goes from Bruce Banner to the Hulk as soon as you plug it in. It has two USB-C ports and a USB-A port. The main USB-C port is 100 watt max output. This is enough to get you a fast charge. Even if you have a laptop and an iPhone or Android plugged in at the same time, you're gonna get a max output of 110 watts because the USB-C one's gonna give you 65 watts max output, and then the USB 2 is gonna be 45 watts max output. And then the USB-A gives us a max of 18 watts. This one also includes pass-through charging, so you can charge your device while you're charging the power bank. The recharge on this one, it took an hour and 44 minutes to get it back to 100%. This has a big display that shows you the percentage of the power bank and a little icon that shows if it's sending or receiving a charge. You also get a cool little pouch with INIU. I think this one looks a little bit more modern than the other ones. According to the INIU website, this is the smallest 100 watt 25 milliamp hour power bank on the market. And then if you look at the back of this thing, it shows a 16,000 milliamp hour max output capacity with 80 watt hours. I got 82% efficiency in my capacity test. It took in 91.3 watt hours with the output of 75.2 watt hours. INIU uses technologies called Tiny Cell and Hyperstack to pack everything in this small power bank without sacrificing capacity or performance. Similar to Anker's Active Shield, INIU uses a technology called 15-layer Smart Protect that makes sure your devices don't overheat while charging. And this one handles trickle charging automatically when it detects devices that are drawing smaller amounts of power. So you don't have to worry about it shutting off while charging AirPods or smaller devices like a watch. And INIU gives you a 3-year warranty with this power bank, which is more than all of the other power banks that are in this video. 3 years, that's amazing because that's like going into the store and getting the extended warranty for free that you would normally pay for. These are the charging protocols for the INIU P63. All right, so the specs and all sound nice, but what does it perform like in real life? So what surprised me the most about this is, besides being the smallest power bank out of all of these, this one actually crushed it. I was able to get the most charges with the INIU P63 on most of my devices compared to all these other power banks. You can see the MacBook Pro, the iPhone, and then the Portal got the most charges, and the Nintendo Switch actually came in at a really close second. I was able to get 3.24 charges on my iPhone 16 Pro Max, with the next closest being 3.04 charges. So this is what I mean when I say I wish I knew about INIU sooner, because having a smaller power bank with this much capacity is exactly what I needed when I'm traveling and I need something that's easy and lightweight to carry around with me to charge all my devices and be able to take all my pics and videos and look at my apps and, you know, find things without any kind of limitations. This would be super easy to carry around and just keep it in my pocket. This one's lightweight and it's small, so I can carry this with me and be able to charge my phone and my camera whenever I need to and not have to worry about missing any, you know, pictures and videos and stuff like that that I need to take. So the drawbacks on this, this thing is only a combined 110 watt output versus 140 and 45 watts for some of these other ones. That's only going to be a factor if you have something like a MacBook Pro that draws in 140 watts for fast charge. That's well above what your phone's going to need for any kind of fast charge. Even then, this thing's pretty fast to be able to charge up your MacBook and stuff like that. I mean, this thing's only 66 bucks. That's really hard to beat. So if you want the extra 40 watts, you're gonna be paying an extra $40 for some of these other ones that are gonna be a lot bigger and heavier to carry around. This is one that I think would really help out gamers that have like a PlayStation Portal, Steam Deck, or Nintendo Switch. Gamers would really appreciate the high capacity of this power bank to give them that extra charge that they need to keep playing without interruption when you're outside or if you're away from your power outlet. And also families that need a lot of capacity to get multiple charges when you're traveling with your family. I think it's perfect for families that go on like Disney trips. You know, halfway through the day, you guys are on lunch and you need to recharge your phones after taking a bunch of pics and videos and give it that refresh that it needs to go on for the rest of the day. So overall, I think this is an excellent all-around power bank with its small size and big power. And then at only 66 bucks, I think INIU is going to be my new go-to power bank when it comes to traveling. All right, now let's talk about UGREEN's 145 watt, 25,000 milliamp hour power bank. I have a KVM switch from UGREEN that works amazing, so I decided I want to try out their power bank too, because they seem like a really good company and they get good reviews. So this one goes for $99, and to me it feels like it's the biggest power bank because of how wide it is, but it's actually 17.6 ounces, so it's lighter than the Anker 737. The design of this thing, it reminds me of like a external hard drive or something, and I think it looks pretty nice. It's thinner than the Anker power bank. This makes it easier to slip in your pocket or in your backpack or purse or something like that, even though it feels like a bigger size power bank. And then all of these are under the 100 watt hour limit for TSA, so these are all safe to take on airplanes. This thing shows that it has a 90 watt hour capacity, so it's well under that TSA limit of 100 watt hours. I got 75% efficiency with 96.9 watt hours going in and 72.8 watt hours going out. And this thing comes with a travel pouch that looks like it's straight out of Elden Ring to stash your loot and your potions and stuff. And it also has a USB-C cable to take with you. And just like the other two power banks, this one also has the two USB-C ports and a USB-A port, so you can charge multiple devices at the same time. And the main USB-C port, it has a 140 watt max output with PD 3.1. So this is fast enough to fast charge your MacBook Pro. With the other USB-C, you can plug in your phone and still get the fast charge out of that too. The USB-A on this one is a little bit higher than the other ones. It's 22.5 watt max output. And then with the 65 watt max input, this thing was able to charge up pretty quick. I was able to get this thing back up to 100% in about an hour and 45 minutes. And then even if you're using both USB-C ports, you'll still get 100 watt max output on USB-C 1 and 45 watt max output on USB-C 2. So this is still fast enough to fast charge your phone and then get a good charge with your laptop too. It's like 100 watt output is still gonna be fast enough to charge up your MacBook pretty quick. So you'll be able to fast charge both devices simultaneously. And then this power bank also has an LED display to show you the percentage that's left on it, and you can hold this button down for 3 seconds to start the trickle charge. So this one also has a trickle charging feature for your smaller accessories to make sure that it doesn't fall asleep. These are the fast charging protocols for this power bank. UGREEN gives us a 2-year warranty with this one, which is the same as the Anker. The drawbacks on this one, you have to press the power button to get this thing going. So if you just plug in your device and then you leave, you come back and your stuff is not charged because it never started. That happened to me a couple times, like at least 3 or 4 times, because when you're in a hurry and you just want to plug in your stuff and then go do whatever, sometimes you're gonna forget to push this button, and that kind of sucks, because with all these other ones I didn't have to do that. I just plug it in and it starts to charge right away. I don't have to think about it. With this one, if I don't remember to press this button, which most of the time you're not gonna use these power banks like that often for you to remember to always press this if you're in a hurry. If you're in a hurry and then you come back and your stuff's not charged, like that sucks. Now this didn't happen on my iPhone or on the MacBook if I used the USB-C cable, but if I used the MagSafe, then it wouldn't charge by itself. I'd have to press the button first. And plus, it just feels like it's the biggest power bank just because of how wide it is. Even though it's easier to slip in your pocket, this thing just feels like a brick, you know? Like I would only take this with me if I'm wearing a backpack or something like that. So UGREEN also has pass-through charging, but it doesn't kick in unless it has enough power in it already. So I had to wait until it was about 10% before the charge kicked in, which the other power banks didn't have to wait. So I recommend this to anyone that's using like a MacBook and their iPhone at the same time, or you know, whatever phone that you have, or like content creators that use their laptop and their phone at the same time to look up like social media posts while they're editing. You'll be able to fast charge both devices simultaneously while you're working. All right, and then the next one we have is gonna be for you guys that are minimalist or have iPhones. This one is the Anker MagGo or MagGo, you know, kind of a weird name actually, but so this one's the smallest and the lightest out of all these power banks, and it also has the smallest capacity. It's 10,000 milliamp hour capacity. The main feature of this one is its magnetic wireless charging. So if you have an iPhone that's MagSafe compatible, you can just slap this thing on the back and then you'll have a power bank that's super portable that you can carry around while still being able to use your device. And then if you want to charge anything else, it has a USB-C output, so that way you can charge your AirPods or your Apple Watch or, you know, whatever accessories that you have. It comes with a USB-C cord, but no travel pouch, because they're probably assuming that this thing's going to be stuck on the back of your phone most of the time. While using the wireless charging, you get a 15 watt max output with Qi2. With the USB-C, you get a 27 watt max output. And then the input on this one is 20 watts for when you're charging it. And then it also has a display left that shows you the percentage of how much charge it has left and the time of how long it's gonna last. The thing that I like the most about this one is portability. It's super nice to be able to use your phone while you're charging it. And then it also has a really strong magnet. Like I have to really, let me see. I have to really try to get this thing off. There it goes. But that magnet's pretty strong. And even with the case, like if I put a case on this thing, put this on, like, dang, that almost feels like it's stronger. But you just have to make sure that the case is no thicker than 2.5 millimeters, because otherwise it's either not gonna charge or it's probably gonna fall off easier. So if you have a really thick case, this is not gonna be the one that you wanna get, or get a different case or something. It's also not compatible with non-magnetic cases. And then if you have an Android, it's not really compatible with Android. The main thing for this one is the magnet. So if it's not gonna work on your phone, then I would look at other options. This wouldn't be the one to get. And then the other thing I like about this power bank is that it goes beyond just charging your phone. This thing comes with a kickstand, which I really like about this, because so you can just put this thing on here and then watch like YouTube, or you know, play games or watch your favorite shows, you know, like when you're on break and stuff. Or you can just have it on this always on screen and look at different things on here. And then if you have an Apple Watch, this thing's good enough to charge that too. Like every time I charged my Apple Watch to 100% using this, it only took off 10% off the total capacity. So I can potentially get 10 charges out of this thing. So the downsides of this one is that it takes the longest to charge most of my devices, and it has the smallest capacity out of all these power banks. And then with the 20 watt max input, it's also the slowest one to recharge. When I charged my iPhone using the wireless charger, I got 1 full charge and 7% out of this thing. When I plugged in the USB-C, I got 1 full charge plus 24%. So if you use the USB-C, it's gonna give you a little bit more charge than the wireless charging. And it's also faster to charge it with the USB-C because it has the 27 watt max output versus the 15 watt with the Qi2 charging with the wireless. And then if you use the wireless and the USB-C at the same time, the wireless gets reduced down to 5 watts max. And recharging this thing, I got it to 100% from 0 in 2 hours and 13 minutes. So I recommend this one for minimalists that are iPhone users that want to be able to use their devices while they're charging it and don't want to carry a bunch of stuff around or a heavy power bank around. And you know, if you watch videos and play games and stuff like that on your phone, you can use the kickstand for that. Or if your battery's just trash now and you just want to be able to get through the day, I wouldn't recommend this to charge your MacBook, because like this thing is not meant for charging up laptops and stuff on this, unless it's like an emergency or something. You're not gonna get that much charge out of it on your MacBook Pro. This one's gonna be for the iPhone users that are looking looking for the most convenience and the most portable option. Also, if you're going on a trip and you have multiple devices, I would take an additional power bank with you on top of this one if you can, because this one's just gonna get you through the day with like the one device, you know. The ones that I would take with me, I've taken an Anker with me before like this. I actually have the Prime power bank, which is like, it was like 180 bucks. So that one is like in a different price range from all of these ones. It just felt like it was too big. I never really took it anywhere. I left it in the car or I left it in the, you know, place that we were staying. Out of all these ones, I would probably take I would take the INIU for sure, because this one is the most portable, it's the most lightweight, and it gives me more than enough power to power up my MacBook and my iPhone at the same time. And you know, like I said, it gives me the most amount of charges for most of my devices that I have, which is surprising considering how small this power bank is compared to, you know, that's like, I mean, this one's way bigger, you know, this is like, it's like Shaq and Kobe right here, you know what I mean? It's a small size, but you get a lot of power with this one, which is really surprising. I would also take the Anker MagGo with me, because honestly, I've been using this one a lot, because I take it to work and I use the Kickstand a lot to watch stuff, and it's convenient to take it with me and an easy way to charge my iPhone whenever I need extra power. I'm more in a mix of power and portability when it comes to power banks. Let me know what you guys go for. And if you want to be able to charge your Portal, your Steam Deck, or your Nintendo Switch, I don't have a Steam Deck, so I couldn't really show you guys, you know, too much of that. Valve, if you guys see this, man, hook me up. If you're gaming, like I said, you know, you're playing Call of Duty or something, and if you have a DualSense Edge, you know that thing doesn't last for nothing, you know. So it's convenient to have something like this right next to you that you can just plug in while you're still playing, and you don't have to wait for it to charge back up or use a different controller, you know, if you're used to like the Pro controllers and stuff like that. Or sometimes your headset dies in the middle of a game and you need to talk to your squad. You don't want to have to sit somewhere else while you're playing just to be able to charge your headset. You can just have one of these and plug it in your headset while you're still playing. It just makes it way more convenient. Like these power banks, this is something that I think everyone needs. It's like such a multi-use device. If you guys want to buy any of these, I have affiliate links in the description. That doesn't cost you guys anything extra, but it helps out the channel. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know which one you guys like the most. Shout out to INIU for hooking me up with this one. This one was the surprise one for me, honestly, because I never even heard of this brand before. All right, y'all, if you guys like this video, make sure you guys subscribe and like. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, peace.
Such a 90s baby though. If we grindin', then we grindin', man, I feel like Tony Hawk. And my homies got the iron, man, they feel like Tony Stark. And you better watch your head, cause it get wicked up the top.